Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to have a look at GCSE English Language and we're going to focus on paper 2 question 4. So when we look at paper 2 question 4, we have to notice it's asking us about the similarities or differences between two texts. It is worth 16 marks and I'd recommend spending about 25 to 30 minutes on this question. For this question, you have to use your own words and focus on key points only. You do not have to include any unnecessary detail, and the best tip I can give you for this question is to compare content, ideas, or information. So let's have a look at practicing question 4. So this is an example of what the question will look like. I want you to pause this video and have a look at analysing and highlighting the important parts in this question, and when you're ready to go through it, press play. Right, let's have a look together. So the part where it says whole of source A and whole of source B shows we have to look at all of the source and both of them together. Where it says different feelings and perspectives, this shows us we have to look at the differences only between the texts. And then it says providing medical air. This is the focus of the question, and we have to make sure our points link to this. Let's have a look at planning the question. So here is source A. You can pause the video and have a little read of it now. And here is source B, and again pause the video and have a little read of it now. So this is the table that we are going to use to plan our answer. So if we first plan the intro, we can see that the intro focuses on what both texts are about. So we can say that both writers describe what it is like to care for others in medicine. Kay, who is the modern doctor in source A, shows stress and frustration throughout her humour, whereas Seacole, in source B, which is a 19th century nurse, shows kindness and pride through emotion. And as a comparative connective, I've said both describe medical care as demanding, however Kay sounds tired and sarcastic, whereas Seacole sounds caring and proud. If we write this as a paragraph, it sounds like this. So I've said both Adam Kay and Mary Seacole write about their experiences of providing medical care, showing how demanding yet meaningful the work can be. In source A, Kay uses humour and exaggeration to express the exhaustion of being a junior doctor, describing the night shifts as an unrelenting nightmare that made me regret ever thinking my education was being wasted. In contrast, in source B, Seacole shows compassion and pride in caring for wounded soldiers, recalling how she ran up to him at once and eased his dressings, and was moved when he whispered, "God bless you, woman, whoever you are." Kay's modern perspective focuses on the chaos and pressure of hospital life, using sarcasm and metaphors to show how overwhelming it feels to be sailing the ship alone. His tone is frustrated and self-deprecating, revealing the strain of modern medicine. Seacole's 19th century viewpoint is more emotional and hopeful, emphasizing faith, empathy, and the kindness she witnesses among others, such as the sympathy and brotherly love shown by the strong to the weak. Both writers admire the importance of caring for others. However, Kay's tone is weary and humorous, reflecting the stress of modern hospitals, whereas Seacole's is warm and compassionate, showing the moral strength and selflessness of nursing during war. Let's have a look at pausing the video now and analysing this paragraph and seeing what key parts we can pick out. And when you're ready, press play. Right, let's have a little look. So in blue here, I've put the points, which is showing how source A is showing that both texts are demanding and meaningful. And then in yellow, I've put the evidence. In orange, I've put the explanation, and in pink is the link back. The next paragraph is going to be paragraph 1, which talks about the feelings and motivation. So we have to focus on how they feel about helping others. So the key points for this are that Kay starts excited, saying the buzz of knowing I was going to become a doctor, but soon feels let down and unprepared. Seacole helps out of natural compassion and says I waited for no permission, and also finds comfort in helping others. So to compare this, we can say both of the nurses wanted to help. However, Kay becomes frustrated by the pressure, whereas Seacole stays calm and devoted. Pause the video now and have a go at writing this as a paragraph for me. Let's have a go at reading my model paragraph for this paragraph. So I've said both writers are motivated by a desire to help others, but their feelings about the work develop in very different ways. In source A, Kay begins his career with excitement and ambition, describing the buzz of knowing I was going to become a doctor one day. However, his enthusiasm quickly fades when he realizes that medical school hadn't remotely prepared him for the unpredictable existence of a house officer. In contrast, in source B, Seacole's motivation comes from instinctive compassion rather than ambition. She says she waited for no permission before helping a wounded soldier and was rewarded when his hand touched mine, and he whispered, "God bless you, woman." Kay's language shows how his early optimism turns into frustration and disillusionment as he experiences the reality of hospital life. His use of humour and exaggeration reflects how he copes with disappointment and stress. Seacole's words, however, reveal genuine emotional warmth and faith. Her actions come from moral duty and kindness rather than obligation. Both writers care deeply about helping others. However, Kay's motivation weakens under the pressures of modern medicine, whereas Seacole's compassion strengthens as she finds her purpose and dignity in caring for the sick and wounded. Let's have a go at analysing this paragraph. So in pink, you can see our point for this paragraph. In yellow are our quotes and evidence to back our point. Explanation is here in blue, and our link back is here in purple. The next paragraph is paragraph 2, where we talk about the experience and tone. So we have to look at what both of their work is like and how they are describing it. So as a little plan, we've said Kay describes chaos and night with humour and exaggeration. This can be seen through the quote, "A ship that's enormous and on fire." However, Seacole describes pain and suffering with gentle care, saying, "I ran up to him at once and eased his dressings." This shows that both face hard situations. However, Kay uses humour to cope, whereas Seacole shows sympathy and comfort. If we say this in a paragraph, it says both writers describe the challenges of providing medical care, but their experiences and reactions are very different. In source A, Kay presents his night shifts as chaotic and overwhelming, saying they made hell look like Disneyland. He uses the vivid metaphor of being on a ship that's enormous and on fire, and that no one has really taught you how to sail, to show how unprepared and isolated he feels. In contrast, in source B, Seacole faces distressing scenes on the wharf but remains calm and determined. She describes how she ran up to a wounded soldier at once and eased his dressings, showing courage and compassion in a situation filled with suffering. Kay's use of humour and exaggeration highlights the intensity and exhaustion of modern hospital work, as well as his sense of being unsupported. His tone is frustrated yet self-aware, using comedy to express the chaos of his environment. Seacole, however, focuses on emotional strength and faith. Her calm, compassionate tone shows her dedication and bravery in the face of pain and death. Both writers face demanding and emotional challenges. However, Kay feels overwhelmed by the pressure and lack of control, whereas Seacole feels purposeful and fulfilled by helping others despite the suffering around her. Pause this video and have a go at analysing this paragraph for the key points, and when you're ready, press play. So here, in purple, we can see the points of our paragraph, showing the challenges of providing medical care. In yellow are our quotes and evidence. In orange is our explanation. Lastly, in pink is our link back to the focus of the question. The last paragraph we're going to do here is the conclusion, where it's our final summary. And we've said that both of the nurses think that caring for others is important. Kay shows the struggles of modern medicine, and Seacole shows the goodness and bravery of nursing. So to compare this, we've said both see care as meaningful. However, Kay's tone is realistic and drained, whereas Seacole's is warm and inspiring. As a paragraph, I've said both Adam Kay and Mary Seacole show that providing medical care is emotionally demanding but deeply meaningful. In source A, Kay reflects that even though the work was hard and the hours bordering on inhumane, he still felt a sense of pride, saying, "I was a doctor now." In contrast, in source B, Seacole finishes by admiring the sympathy and brotherly love shown by the strong to the weak, celebrating the kindness she witnessed among those who cared for the wounded. Kay's ending suggests that modern medical care brings exhaustion and sacrifice, but also accomplishment and purpose. Seacole's conclusion, however, focuses on the goodness and compassion of humanity, showing that helping others is both morally and spiritually rewarding. Both writers convey deep respect for those who dedicate themselves to caring for others. However, Kay's tone is realistic and wary, reflecting the pressures of modern medicine, whereas Seacole's is uplifting and heartfelt, celebrating the compassion and courage found in nursing during wartime. If we highlight and analyse this paragraph together, we can see in pink we have our point of the paragraph, in orange are our quotes and evidence, in green is our explanation, and lastly in yellow is the link back to the focus of the question.